if I look at you.
No, I'll have a cover. I'll have a cover over my whole card, so
All
that
right,
shouldn't
okay.
be a problem. It's Britishers. I pity the fool. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Poker with the Academic Agent. Evening, sir. I think we're live now. Yeah, we're live. There we go. Sorted. You alive, Academic Agent?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Um, how are we even? So you're just streaming the Discord, are you?
Yeah, yeah. So, well, I'm streaming like my screen through Streamlabs, and then obviously I've got the image of the Britisher saying "I pity the fool," which
See
is
that? Did you see that amazing meme someone made of me playing cards with Captain Switzerland?
yes, with
And I put,
Hayek and Soul in your hand. It's great.
I quite enjoyed that. They're getting very good, those memes.
They are the grand gallery is growing at a great rate. Um,
I know I should mention to the lowly followers of Mark that the Discord is actually my Discord is actually open to the public for the first time in a long time. You will go to an area called the ghetto, a slum area. If people want to join that Discord, I can give Mark the link and he can like stick it in the notes. Uh,
yeah,
you know,
sure, I'll do that.
could I'll send it to you in our little chat here.
I like what people are saying. Well, did the boomer manage to get his shit working? You're well known as that sort of thing. Let me
I have
just.
to move all my stuff from the other room, and it's a mouse and a mic and a laptop and a pair of headphones. I mean, it's a lot of stuff.
All the joy. Because you. So anyway. 73 people tuning in, though, which I'm surprised with, given that this is not typical stream. But there we go. No to open borders, says Tony.
Well, it's not. The slum is a vibrant area on the outskirts of town, so people will enjoy it in there.
People want the stream link. 1 second. There you go. Sorted. There we go. Right. So that's the thing. So we were hoping to get a few more people in. If you want to join the home game that we can set up later on, then you can join by following this link here. It's on my Twitter feed. I'll put a link earlier in the chat. We are planning on running a game for $11, but we're open to reducing that if people find that's too expensive. Just so we can get people in there because we think it'd be fun. But other than that, I think we're going to play some regular sit and goes.
Yeah, but to get things off, we're gonna have a little head to head, aren't we?
Oh yeah, okay, you can do that. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to create a table now. That's that one. Create tournament. Let's see. That sort of thing. We'll start it at 20 past, because that's that. Hold'em, 2 people. How much do we want to put on it? How much do you want?
I don't know, $5.
550. I think that's what it has to be. Regular format and fast game speed. No, normal game speed.
Making it fast.
No, I'll put it on normal. It's fine. Winner takes all, obviously. Blind interval, 5 minutes and 1,000 starting chips. Create tournament. Must start no later than. Be at least 5 minutes later than the current time. Okay, so 25 past. So we'll have to kill 8 minutes. But there you go. 2-player tables must be shootout tournaments. Whatever. There we go. So there's a game.
Tournament.
There you go.
Alright.
Voila. So if you go into the
I'm just looking at home games at the minute, not so obvious home games.
yeah, and then it should, if you click on schedule, then in the bottom of the schedule it should say in 7 minutes tournament.
I'll register for that then.
Yeah, buddy. And then
I don't have a Twitter anymore.
no, you've been killed. You've been knocked off once again. There we go.
Somebody is really determined, right?
I think it's all manual as well. Like you got to think, because they keep catching you. I love how much time. It's not like you create another account and they've IP banned you, so they instantly click that it's you and then like smash it off. It's just the. Go on.
Suspect the alt-right are responsible for this.
But you think the alt-right and the left are the same people?
Well, I mean, they're slightly different variants, I suppose. A bit more racist, generally. But yeah, I think I cropped up in an alt-right thing, and then lo and behold, about 10 minutes later, I was banned. So it's a bit suspicious, isn't it?
It is. Well, I imagine it only takes one report, really, and they go, wait a second, this guy has the same moniker and a very similar name. Teabag says, can you ask AA if we have to bring our own beer for Kavanaugh's acceptance party?
Bring your own beer. It's going to be a great party. It's going to be amazing fun. Everybody invited, apart from anyone who supported the Democrats, who are just disgusting. So that is if he's confirmed. I've got a terrible black pill feeling about that.
Oh, you're feeling very Hitchens right now.
Anything could go wrong there.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna until I actually see it's confirmed. I'm not gonna believe it's confirmed.
Jaren Oru says vibrant area sounds like something Khan would say about a no-go zone. He's talking about your slums, your ghetto, and you described it as vibrant.
It is a very vibrant area.
So,
and you've got a chance there to make it something, to make it your own. You can be enterprising.
You mean like they have no power? They can only access one channel, and they can only talk to Ray. If for no other reason than to talk to Ray. There you go. Binary Surfer says he might join us. The in the general side of things. I tell you what, I'll give you a little bit of chat first, right?
I'd love Binary Surfer to join. He's based as hell.
He's really good. My dad is trying to blue pill me back on taxation, right? He's trying to make me rejoin the Matrix. So here you go, right? You can interject at any time, right? Here is an entire argument laid out on why taxation isn't theft, coming from an American perspective, which he's copied from somewhere, and it's saying taxes are morally and ethically justified because you as an individual consent to be taxed.
No, you don't.
Income tax laws were created in the 30s by the elected officials from Congress. The reason why that is important is because the democratic process was used in a representative republic to choose who is able to make decisions for them and enact laws on the citizens' behalf. The laws were created, designed and agreed upon by elected officials and were passed in the first level of consent. Those who elected those representatives gave their consent to those officials to act in their stead to craft laws for the population. With those laws, there was the creation of an implied consent contract where the money taken in would be used for funding the government as per the officials' decisions in the democratic process. If you live in any country, you agree to abide by the laws of the country. You can move wherever else if you don't want to do that. And the state assumes that if you remain in the country you live in, you agree to be taxed because you are staying in the cell you choose to be in. There is no force used, the door is unlocked, and you can walk through.
I can, there's a certain amount of validity to, obviously nobody asked to be born in a given country and you have to abide by the law. The idea that it's consensual is the one that I find interesting. If you made them optional, I wonder how many people would opt out. That's always my, if it's so consensual, why is it compulsory?
He would probably make an argument along the lines of people don't have their own moral compass and it has to be enforced either by religion or the state.
It's not really consensual then, is it? It's force. And who did to make it so that the bottom 50% of people don't pay At the bottom, 50.5% of people are net receivers of benefits
Well,
rather than net payers into benefits.
Well, there will be a somewhat of distribution in a tiered system, surely. Like the idea that there is some redistribution of wealth in order to sort of balance inequality to the point where people will not want to kill the people at the top.
So you're saying that taxation is now necessary so that the rich aren't killed?
Basically, I mean, we're also seeing that that's not working very well. I'm playing devil's advocate here. I hope you appreciate that. I'm saying that there are high crime rates where there's a high level of inequality, right? And it's perceived inequality, not necessarily real. Here we are.
I'm Lord JVK, by the way.
Welcome, as if it wasn't clear enough, and I've doxed my own surname, so there you go. Let's see. Sora Sapien, abolish tax brackets, implement a sliding scale. I don't know what it means by a sliding scale.
I found out today that the top 1%, okay, pay more as a percentage of taxation, some 90% combined.
It's pretty strong.
The top
penetrative sex
pay 97.3% of all tax, and 50% contribute 2.8% of all tax. Like, yeah, okay. So you've created a system in which the most productive citizens are enslaved to the least productive.
So I wasn't paying attention now.
What's happening? Okay.
The game has started. Thank you very much. Let me see. I'm just making sure that basically the cards are covered, which I think they are. So that's fine. Exciting. So what were you saying about tax? Sorry.
No, I was just saying that we've created a system where the citizens enslaving the most productive citizens.
The most productive are enslaved to the least productive. Did you say? Hello.
That's basically what's happened, isn't it?
Your mic is cutting out a little bit, mate. That's what I'm saying. So no, I can't hear you at the moment, for instance.
Full penetrative sex.
How about now? Any better?
Yeah, I can hear you now. This is all good. Yeah, I mean, you say, like, to what extent? Because the rich have like a mobility that really is unrivaled compared to the lowest portion. I figured we may as well see a flop, right? And then you do that. Exciting. Decisions. No, you can have that one, mate. Enjoy. I can't hear you if you're speaking now, or I thought if you're being quiet for the hand, you're being quiet for the hand. But well done. Are you trying to speak? You are very... Like, I still can't hear you, mate. Apologies to chat that I can't hear him. Oh, my heart goes out to the super rich Luxalex. Yeah, like, I'm not saying that, you know, they're in it's a problematic position. I'm saying they shouldn't really be, you know, they have no less right to humanity than anyone else. You are roboting now, Mr. Agent. Oh, I don't like that. Joking. Or do I? I hate that. You know, I had a straight at that point, mate. And a flush at the end, but it was a terrible flush. Not ideal. This is great, isn't it? Like, what do I get? I get AA, and I can't hear a word he's saying. Not ideal. Right, I'm gonna go. Boomer moments yet again. Google has come for him. Yeah, he's not just been knocked off of Twitter. He's being knocked off of Discord. He's being knocked off of, you know, social media. They'll come. He's not on Facebook, so maybe he's sort of, you know, happy with that one. But there you go. What about taxes just for military, police, and law? These seem like necessary evils. I would say, in terms of, I think taxation is necessary to a great degree. So, much more than someone like Based Liz, who seems to think very individually that as long as she can protect herself with her machine gun or whatever, then she'll be fine. But I'm much more inclined to think that...
Can you hear me yet?
I can hear you now. You can hear you just about. What's going on?
I don't know. I have been enjoying your cuckery though in this game so far.
I'm sure you have. Of course, you have a 9.
Oh no! Oh no!
Thank you very much, sir. Did you hear what I? Oh, it's a split because it's 2 pair because the 7 came up. Oh, fuck's sake! Oh, what a pain! Absolute swine! Christ!
Oh, no.
I am not happy with that. I am not happy with that. Check raise, sir. I swear to God, if you've got 8s. Oh, there you go.
Oh no!
No 8, no queen. Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Ah.
You're playing junk, sir. I need to stop playing you like I would play an actual player. No, you can have that one.
I thought you were desperate. I thought you were, you know, I thought you've got nothing. I thought you were bluffing.
The blinds on this are not high at all yet. I mean, come on, man. They've gone up once. I've still got so many blue blinds. I just need to not get sucked out on by you. Good evening, Mr. Tailed Feature. Join the game. I want you to join the game. Follow the instructions on my Twitter feed. How's that? Okay. What have you got? 9s! Oh.
Come on, a 9.
Oh, no 9. No 9.
Come on, a 9.
Oh. Thank you, sir. Oof. Complete. That's the end of that one. That's all she wrote. Just 1 pair in it.
What are the odds of that happening, you know?
I mean, pretty high, given I'm playing you and you have no idea what you're doing.
In a heads up. So what's going in?
Sorry?
9 with a 9.
Sorry, you cut out for a brief second there. Say again.
But I had to go all in with 2 9s.
You didn't have to go in all in with 2 9s. I mean, 9s.
Against the wall.
9s are pretty strong, but you were not getting anywhere against 10s. But you could have got away from that. But thanks for the $5. You say, I've never played poker in my life, and maybe that's why you want me to join. Yeah, that's exactly why I want you to join Tailed Feature. Also, you'll be a laugh, and you can join the call.
You should go too. Binary Surfer's awesome guy.
Why not cover your cards and not your chips? Also, uncovering when going all in would be handy. I'll tell you what, I will bring up, so I'll bring up the Streamlabs, so I'll edit the size of my I Pity the Fool, and I will make sure that it covers that in the next game. You want another one? Hello? Are we dead again?
Can you still hear me? I don't know what's going on with this.
Maybe a dodgy connection on your end. But
no, my connection is absolutely phenomenal.
Of course it is.
So.
Manage games. Let's create a new table. Exactly the same, and we'll start it at 22, 35, 40. It's gonna have to be regular. Winner takes all, 5 minutes. Blah blah blah. create tournament.
What, me versus you again?
Oh yeah, just one more, and then and then we'll see if we can get people to join up. Like,
I'm not enjoying.
you're not enjoying. You haven't won one yet. You could play properly. And then we'd do it again.
The idea of being like a fish to Mark's shark here.
I have a dolphin as a profile picture, if that makes you feel any better. Theresa May says PokerStars seems broken for me, or Borken as it's actually typed out in chat. After the flop, your best hand is visible. I see, yeah, in the bottom right. But ooh, if I get more people to join, then maybe that might be problematic. But until then, I don't think it's a problem because AA is not going to watch the stream. Will you, AA?
No, I've got to have my own thing up. I can't see anything.
Yeah, exactly. But the
Registry. Have I registered?
yeah, you're registered. The rip spelling, yeah. I will add another image and add source. Add existing source. Oh yeah, another one. And I'm just going to put that here-ish. Why not? So that you can't see my best hand. Joy. Where are we? There we go. When AA turns into Sly Sneak, he regresses 15 years in age, grows a neck beard, and his hair turns ginger as Mrs. Agent's hair turns blue. What?
I mean,
Well, you have no defense against this?
what do you mean when I turn into Sly Sneak? What are you on about?
Well, he is your alter ego. It's like the Mr. Jekyll to your he's the Dr. Jekyll to your Mr. Hyde.
I accept no. I don't know what people are talking about.
You were letting your inner Sly Sneak out earlier when you were discussing your Steam stats.
Oh right, well, you know.
But there you go. But back to the taxation thing. Unless you're bored of that conversation. What's stopping AA from cheating via screen watching? Nothing except gentleman's agreement. Insurance is a tax, is what Leo Cameron says. Income tax is unconstitutional. What were we talking about? Yeah.
I think there should be a cost to voting. I think that voting should be. Let's say it was, I don't know, just to vote.
Yeah, you're in favour of an upper age limit and a business owner, aren't you? Or would you just implement business owner?
No, what about just a £10 pay to play? Then anybody who really doesn't want to pay £10 to vote, then, you know, if you don't care, if you don't care enough to pay a tenner, you've got no. There has to be skin in the game. There has to be a cost. You know, you have to put your money where your mouth is. That's what I think.
Yeah. At the same time,
It's also too easy for special interest groups to push their interests past the majority set up, and so we end up paying for all sorts of things that we did not agree to.
I'm trying to work out at the moment whether or not there was ever a time that the state actually shrunk in any meaningful way, and why, like historically speaking.
The only time I know of the state actually shrunk, even then it's debatable, is the from about 1821 to about 1890, say, in this country. Even then, arguably, it didn't, because the police became a thing. Obviously, the tax revenue got higher, and it did end up They started then creating the first shoot of the welfare state. And it seems to me that this is a inevitable consequence of democracy. Democracy will lead to socialism.
I don't know whether or not it would necessarily inevitably lead to socialism. I mean, it definitely leads to, and again, have you seen like how like liberalism has sort of led to a degree to the rise of the left in general? Would you argue that?
Do you mean when you say liberalism has led to the rise of the left? What do you mean?
Sure, because I'm trying to think how it was put to me. Like the values which the left claims to extol, things like tolerance and consent and the harm principle, etc., like that, are things which underpin a lot of what liberalism stood for. But people would argue that they're perverting the use of it. So I kind of see, I can easily see how people would, like particularly in America where the left have taken the word liberal, why that's happened.
I mean, what happened in this country is that the Liberals, the Liberal Party, by the so-called modern liberals or new liberals, ended up selling out all of the classical liberal.
You've cut out again, I'm afraid, mate. Hello?
Again?
Yeah, you're back again now. Sort of vaguely. What were you saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
I said, what happened?
You've cut out again, mate. I'm afraid. What happened? What happened? So say again. I can hear you clicking in and out, right? But I don't know why your mic appears to be, so broken.
I think it's something to do with the Discord,
Maybe.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I think it's because... God. Hold on a minute. I have to think.
Thank you very much.
All right.
I'm just wondering, is that better for... Can people see my chips now in chat? That's what I want to know. But... yeah.
So basically, what happened in the late Victorian era is that the Liberal Party ended up selling out all of the classical liberal.
All of the classical liberal what?
And basically started arguing for socialism. Well, I don't know why this is. Let's try this. Any better to you?
I can hear you now. That's a good start, as always. Maybe I can. No, I can't hear you. I cannot hear you. Tell you, this stream is going well, isn't it?
I didn't.
You didn't what?
Well, why can't we? Why don't you use like actual Hangouts? Why are we in this?
Just because of the nature of Streamlabs. I mean, I can call you on Skype instead or something, and you can and decide if that works better.
That was interesting.
Yep. I'll leave it to you as to why. Again, classical liberal blank. Why are you hiding AA's cards? Am I? I'm not.
Surely.
Not intending to hide AA's cards, right? I'm just trying to hide where my thing comes up, right? Hopefully that should change things around a bit. All right, I'll try and call you on Skype. There we go. Skype. Let's just quit Discord. The joy.
Hello?
Hello. You're quite quiet now. Can you hear me? Settings.
Okay.
I can hear you, but you're very quiet. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I'm just adjusting the settings so I can hear you better. That's better, yeah.
I'm probably let me turn myself up maybe.
No, you're fine. I've moved you up, so you're all good. But
Right.
hopefully we won't have that sort of thing. Pretty sure you can just disable showing best hand in game settings. Maybe table settings, animation announcements. Don't want to see them. Don't want to see them. Let's see. Just bear with me a second, mate, while I table display. Show time left to act.
Oh, come on. Okay. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, come on! Oh, what was that? A flop of full house. Oh my god! I'm just gonna have to go through that. Like, right. Let's a full house. Full in. Right. I had 67% before the flop into 0.1%. 0.1%. That is disgusting, sir.
That's what happens when you play with winners.
Yeah, of course, just flop the absolute nuts in a second. That's brilliant. Bear with while I just... Fucking hell. Chat, display chat bubbles. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just trying to get rid of this show best hand thing, and I might be completely blind.
So what happens now?
So now either people join us or we go find a table. I think we've won one each. I can't believe you did that. That's absolutely horrendous. That's a
fantastic win.
A full suck out there. Right, select OK, announcements, I guess. Message box, no. Apply changes. I don't know how to get rid of it, guys. Show muck hands. Advanced. Nope. I can't see it. Oh well, it doesn't really matter. Like, no one's gonna snipe the game, so we're all good. Nobody knows who I am. Let's just do this. Saurosapian says, let's just impose a requirement of £100,000 freehold in order to vote. Entirely possible. So let's go and donated $10. Thank you very much, sir. Said poker will be illegal in a few years in the EU. Burn Brussels, remove the Reich. Strong. Can you hear me, AA?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can. I'm in the lobby.
Cool. Can you click on sit and go at the top?
Yep.
And then buy-in should be to low. So you should see some coins and then like low buy-ins, which says it's like 2 cents, 20 cents, 25 cents.
Shall we? Which table should we go on?
So
90 players. I don't
Yeah.
want one with the 90 players.
no, you don't want one with 90 players, but we're going to scroll down until we find one with like 9 players. Okay. So there's a 50-cent turbo with 9 players. Can you see it?
Yeah, with 7 of 9.
Yeah,
Should we
join it.
Snipe in there.
Jo-
All right. Oh,
It's already started. Okay. I can
all right.
I can
I'll get out of there.
I can leave now.
Let's go into that one just below it, which has got 2 people in it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm in there. See me, Lord JVK.
And I'm in there, and I've only sacrificed 50 cents, so it's all good.
There's a
Right.
bunch of Brazilians in there.
Yeah.
Hold on, did I only pay 50 cents? We're not going to last long on this table if we only took 50 pence in there.
No, because it's a tournament, right? So you'll have 1,500 chips.
All right, okay.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Where are you?
Okay, there I am. I can't see. I'm not looking at your
No,
thingy. So
it's all good. That's all good. I'm still in that other tournament for some reason. So when it when it comes up again, I'll basically. search it.
so I'm looking at the table here. I don't like the look of that ostrich guy.
The ostrich. Oh, it's an owl, I think. Oh no, the ostrich. Pick up a chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. I can see you there in the big small blind. Sorry. Let's pull up the chat. Here we go. All according to Slicenik's devious plan, flopped it out and cucked me. Disgusting. Yeah, people were basically seeing that full house that just popped up.
It's quite
Which
incredible,
is
really, isn't it?
Horrendous. I can't believe it. Absolutely crushing you, and then ace 5. Do you know, the only thing that would have saved me there is 2 kings. That is the only. If we'd had king, it's the only thing. All right, so we don't like the ostrich guy. We'll have to. It might even be an emu, and they're from the UK as well. So horrendous. Apparently, we've all got 50% connection apart from someone else. This is all pretty confusing from people. Once the boomers are dead, the fascists will come back. I don't know.
Why will the fascists come back?
I have no idea.
So this is an interesting thing. I think that left to their own devices, i.e., without kind of coercion and control and various other things, I think most people would default to being fascist.
You reckon?
I think that most people are conservative on social policy and socialist on economic policy, which is basically fascism. So.
I mean, yeah, it depends on where exactly you sit, I guess. Are you going to make a play here?
Oh.
If you want to go head to head with me, you go head to head with me.
Oh. It's you.
It's me. No collusion. I can't tell you anything. I just want to make it clear as well, we're not sharing funds in any way, shape or form. We're not giving each other information about our whole court, cards, etc. So there you go. Oof. No 10. Goodbye, JVK.
Damn it! I did it for the lulls.
You did it for the lulls. It's gonna look like gonna look like you're giving me chips. That's not the way it works. God. Yeah, we didn't talk about what happens in this situation where I just immediately take you out from the second. I mean,
I didn't know it was. I forgot it was you.
I mean, if it's just all for fun, then I'm just gonna go all in every hand, and then we'll go for like another game.
I didn't know it was you, and I thought. Oh,
I was like, look, it's me. I can't give you any information. But if you want a tango, then I don't have a problem with this. Luxelect says, because fascism wasn't given much of a run, once there is enough distance between World War II and the present, it becomes viable in a political sense.
Yeah, I mean viable, but that doesn't mean it's. I mean, there's the only truly viable system is the free market, really. I mean, fascism kind of did work on its own merits, as in the society was functioning. It was really brought down by war, if you think about it, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, but are you referring to the fascism as in, like, what people would call Hitler's fascism versus something like the actual fascism that rose up in Italy?
Well, I mean, Mussolini's fascism lasted almost 20 years. Hitler's went a decade, and they were both taken out by war, weren't they? So it's hard to know what would have happened had there not been foreign intervention. Had there not been the World War, would fascism? And I mean, you've got to remember as well that fascism was the hard counter to socialism. So
for goodness sake. Sorry, I can't lose at the moment. I'm going all in basically every hand, and I'm winning. Sorry, you were saying?
Well, I just said fascism was kind of a hard counter to. Oh, fucked here. I'm watching now, by the way.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I mean, one of the reasons that fascism came about was as a counter to any possibility of a socialist revolution in those countries. So that was one thing. The other thing is that, okay, they were gearing up for war economies and they were expansionist, but if they hadn't been, I'm not sure if that system has been tried. Like, you know, an isolationist fascist country. I'm trying to think of some examples. I mean, it would still fail for all the reasons that totalitarian regimes typically do. But I think they may have more success than some of the socialist states because they still let people own their own property.
I mean, it is, but it's like a very specific number of people, I guess.
No. So what they do is you're allowed to own your own business. You're allowed to set up whatever businesses you want, but the state can get involved to a ridiculous extent. I mean, I have argued before that FDR's USA was basically a fascist state. In so much as the government was involved at all levels with big business. I mean, people try to define fascism by the political system rather than by the economics, but on the economic front, it's very similar to what they were doing.
I mean, in your ideal world, right, what level of state intervention would you have, if anything?
Well, none.
None in anything at all?
No. Well, in business, none. Zero.
Yeah.
Just like you separate church and state, you separate business and state as well.
Yeah. Did you come to a consensus on what was it? Copyright and that sort of thing, like patents?
Well, I mean, I maintain that copyright is justified and patents are not. Yeah.
What do you think about the Yeah, I tend to agree. This is the trouble. There's not enough we disagree on in this particular sphere at the moment. And I'm trying to lose this game harder than I've tried to lose anything else.
And you're still winning.
I've just lost one pot. And there's that side of things. Hitler did nothing wrong, Sly Sneak 2018.
I didn't say that.
Fascism is autocratic. It could only work if it produced everything. I don't know about that.
Well, just think about the Depression time economies. They stuck protectionism up massively, so there was very little international trade.
Mm.
The state was intervening all over the place. So really, before World War II, Britain and America had quasi-fascist states as well.
Yeah, arguably. Like, demonstrably, sorry. For God's sake.
I mean, the thing is, I mean, I made a video a while back called Basic Definitions,
Mm.
where I was trying to separate the economic systems and the political systems, because people think that, you know, say, let's say democracy and capitalism go together, or socialism and dictatorship go together type thing.
Mm.
But that's not necessarily the case. You can have different political systems and different economic systems combined in different ways. And one of the things I'm interested in is the amount of successful states there have been which have had no democracy.
We're back, yeah. I lost connection for a second there. I don't know why.
So, yeah, you're still going?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Have you been kicked?
No, I'm still here, mate. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I'm just seeing if you've been kicked from the game, that's all.
Oh, no, you don't get kicked. You get sat out, but you don't get kicked.
So yeah, one of the things I'm very interested in is the different combinations of the economic systems with the political systems, because I'm not actually sure if one follows from the other. I actually think if there's a link anywhere, it's a link between democracy and slow death, like stealth socialism, you know, gradual socialism. And I'm actually starting to worry or wonder if Marx was ultimately just correct on his prediction that eventually socialism would come, just not as a revolution, not as a rising up of the proletariat, just by a drip, little by little.
You're going to hate that Sargon kind of agrees with you, although he doesn't agree that socialism will come. He agrees that communism, or a form that we might construe to be communism, may eventually come. Just through natural, like the progression of culture, etc. Monaco-fascism when?
No, so I'm not saying it's due to progress. I'm actually saying, I mean, I wouldn't call it progress. I would just say the incentives are such that it's going to keep on growing until you get to a moment of collapse, or a moment in which the states are controlling so much that you've more or less or recreated what looks like a socialist or a communist state. But then, I mean, for all the reasons that the economists say, it would crash, wouldn't it? The socialist state can't actually sustain itself. So,
would you privatize, fully privatize higher education?
Higher education? Yeah, why not? Yes.
There you go. That's the answer to that one, John Stewart. Marx was correct, Academic Asian 2018.
Well, I mean, in a way he was. I mean, some aspect of his prediction may turn out to be correct, but I'm not sure if it's a function of capitalism and more a function of democracy. That's my current thought. That as you bring more and more, because what I was trying to say in that video is that there's only two ways to allocate resources, Mark. We can either trade with each
or
other,
or you can steal effectively.
You can use force, yeah. And so these are our two options. And what politics is which group gets to exercise the force, who gets to control the guns and make other people to pay for things that they want. And as more and more groups become empowered through democracy, you get more of this war of all against all. You get the Hobbesian kind of fight, you know, between different groups. You know, it could be the women or the various minority groups. all vying for control over those resources, and eventually, little by little, you'll get to the point where you've got an almost completely socialized state.
The so one of the arguments in favor of say something like the NHS, right? Is that perhaps the basically the state itself is not has misallocated resources, so that the NHS could run well, but everything's been misallocated. So you get something like the military, which is also run by the state, which is very top heavy at the moment. The Americans seem to have done their military correctly. So the whole of the British military is of an equivalent size to the US Marine Corps, and the US Marine Corps has 6 times fewer senior officers. And the argument is that basically the Marine Corps thinks that they have too many officers already right now, whereas our officers are basically unfireable, and therefore they're not held to account in the same way. So the Marine Corps being an example of a way which it's being done correctly, where people can and will be fired for dereliction of duty, etc., and everything else is everything else,
So, I mean, the thing is with the army, why I'd say it's different is because they're in competition with other armies. So there's some sense in which there's a market mechanism at play, whereas that is less true with something like NHS.
Do you think so? Because they still have to compete with private healthcare.
Yeah, but they don't. Do they really compete? Think about it. Every patient that goes to private healthcare isn't perceived by the NHS as a lost patient. It is actually the private hospital doing them a favour.
What do you mean? Sorry, saying it. Present that again.
So with the NHS, if a private hospital takes a patient, they're effectively doing the NHS a favour. It's taking one patient away. That's one less patient they have to worry about. So the NHS actually have an incentive for people to use private healthcare because it alleviates the burden on them. So they're not in competition, are they? Because what sort of competitor actually wants somebody to go to their rival?
I just won that game, by the way.
Just by going all in every time.
Basically lucking out and making everyone at the table hate me, and that other game is still going for some reason. I was just trying to get it all in. We can. Do we want to find another game?
Let's do one last one.
Let's do one more. Can you see the one which has 5 of 9 people in it? 50 cents.
Where is it?
In Sit and Goes. 5 of 9. 50-cent turbo. 6 of 9 now.
Yeah, I'm in. Am I? Did I just? Shit.
Unregister.
Yeah, I'm in.
You're in.
Yeah.
And I'm in. Huzzah! There you are. I can see you opposite me. Don't forget about me this time.
Okay, I'll remember who you are, because that was mainly just for shits and giggles. That last one.
Ottoman, Van, Bismarck. Do either of you play Victoria 2?
I'm more of a Crusader Kings 2 guy, to be honest. Victoria is quite, involved, I would say.
Well, yeah. What did you think of RimWorld? Because that's obviously quite micromanagey, to the point where, people will lose eyes and stuff like that, and it all has modifiers.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, it's kind of like a Dwarf Fortress Light for me.
I didn't mind. Light. I didn't mind. Yeah. I didn't mind it, but I didn't play very much of it either. To be honest, I worked out basically that that kind of game is not for me. Much as I did the similar thing with Dwarf Fortress, so I have no idea why I even bought it.
Strange individual.
Yeah, I'm much more of a like RTS guy, so I enjoyed. I still enjoy playing things like Age of Empires 2, etc.
Too many moving parts for me.
Well, you don't click to move. You select units.
I prefer a turn-based. So I'd prefer to play Heroes of Might and Magic 2 than I would to play or Heroes of Might and Magic 3 or Age of Wonders than something that requires me to click men around. I did play Warcraft 3 back in the day. That was quite good.
Warcraft.
And I also played Company of Company of Heroes? I only ever played as the British.
I don't know. Have you considered a grand strategy like anything by Paradox?
Yeah, so I'm a fan. Well, Crusader Kings 2. I like. Paradox made some decent games.
I don't mind. I have Stellaris, but they're updating it so much at the moment that it's just not worth playing.
I think I may own that, but haven't played it.
And you would never play it online anyway.
No, I'd never. I hate other people. So, well, I don't want to have like some random kid screaming in my ear when I play games. I was a very slow adopter to even the idea of online gaming in general. So
I can just.
I never got into that. I mean, what was it? Team Fortress 2 and all that sort of stuff.
You just imagine you playing a MOBA alongside Based Liz, like getting into League of Legends, that sort of thing.
I will play tower defense games. They're quite fun.
I enjoyed tower defense games when I was 12.
Well, what? They're still good. You can still play them.
Yeah, they're fine. They're simple. The
Plants vs Zombies and.
You're going full like freemium Candy Crush gamer right now. Maybe you appreciate that.
The Defense Grid, that was good.
Defense Grid. I actually have Defense Grid. I have Defense Grid 2. I think I have. I enjoyed that one. The Kajitan says, any thoughts on the role of the EU in geopolitics? Many say that without the EU, Europe will become the new Northern Italy, with every great power picking off little states. I think the nuclear option kind of dispenses with that to a great degree, personally. Because I don't think the EU has kept the... I think maybe the economic area has kept the... may have smoothed things over, but I don't think it's what has been responsible for peace in Europe.
Only the USA has been responsible for peace in Europe.
You reckon?
What do you mean? I mean, it's obvious. NATO, or basically the US Army, with some help from the British. What is stopping Russia marching into Eastern Europe now?
An eagle flies overhead.
What's the real thing that's stopping them? It's the American army, isn't it?
Well, it's the nuclear option. Because they know that we could nuke, and that America could nuke St. Petersburg faster than you could shake a stick. And a missile defense system that's a nuclear defense system that's 95% effective will still have enough nukes hit that doesn't really matter, does it?
But even if it was just ground forces, it would still be or air forces. It would still be the U.S. Army who would be looked upon to help, wouldn't it? You wouldn't be seeing the Spanish and the Italians go marching in there. They'd be crushed. They'd be crushed very quickly, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they don't really have anything going for them. There are a lot of sheltered states in the EU.
That's why I think they should start paying for their own defence. And I think as soon as they do, they'll very quickly figure out, hold on a second, this situation that we've enjoyed for so long was artificial.
Yes.
So I see the
being inevitable. I also see the rise of not fascism, but a new populist politics taking over Europe in the next 10, 15 years. I mean, it's been interesting to see Italy because they keep on getting more popular since they've been elected. They've got more popular, not less.
Mm.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. I mean, Italy's a weird one. I was having a chat to an Italian from one of my classes the other day, and they were talking about like like Italy is such a volatile state. Like, if people don't know, they cycle through the most governments of any European nation. It's pretty horrendous, actually. Like the idea of any stability in Italy is insane.
Stole that little pot from you. I enjoyed that.
I'm struggling to stay alive here.
Cheeky little bet for me.
Yeah. Cisco donated $5 and says, with the EU, we'll become a big Italy. The best solution is individualism and finish mining our bridges and tunnels, waiting for the Swedes and Germans trying to cross.
Honestly, I think that for the libertarian society to come, probably requires the current system to break down entirely, and that might take a very long time. I think we're probably still about 150 years away from some aspects of this system breaking down, but I think it will start to, even in our lifetimes, we'll see some aspects of it fall away. Europe will be the first.
Yeah.
Mainland Europe will be the first to crumble.
People always seem to think that the society they're in is set in stone, and
only our society thinks that. We're almost unique in history for thinking that the way things are now are the way things are always going to be.
Well, which
Douglas Murray talks about this in Strange Death of Europe, which is a fantastic book. He talks about how people think, my Facebook is always going to be there. This little bubble that I live in now is always going to be, and it's just not the case.
I do think it's a uniquely Western thing to think that, despite the fact that we are the pinnacle of what of success, throughout human history, the idea that we've peaked, there's only down to go, I think is also a uniquely Western phenomenon, where they go, either there's nowhere left to go, or we are the pinnacle and we should roll it out to everyone, like, immediately by force. In the same way that like the moral thinking of the left, for instance, when it comes to pulling down statues, etc., is because they compare the people of the day to today. Oh my, another king, please. No, I'm out.
Unlucky, mate.
Unlucky. I mean, that was just a bad luck, and I made 2 questionable bets, but there you go. I will continue to watch and see how you do, and now I don't have to worry about being accused of throwing you chips, or worry about covering whole cards. So it's all good. I'll bring the chat up at the side. We can have
I can talk about my strategy, can I?
You can. You can talk about like what you've got as well. There's enough of a delay on the stream, and no one else is watching.
I'm basically just trying to limp into hands for cheap, and see what's on the flop, and then
what have you got?
Oh, I'm on a flush draw, so I'm going to put a cheeky little 30 bet in here. Hopefully he folds, but bollocks. Okay, so I picked up a pair of 8s on the river.
Okay, overbet 140ish.
That's literally all I've got. I'm gonna put in a
140ish. Come on. Oh, pot sized.
Oh, bollocks.
Instant, he read you like.
See, my instinct there was to just check it and fold immediately. But you tried to. See, I think that's a standard play, which is why you read it. I would rather not do that.
John Stewart says, "What's your opinion?" And that's to both of us on the new Sokol hoax, which I'm sure you've read about, given you're in academia.
Oh well, there's a very good article on Quillette about that, which I would recommend that people read. And there was a chap in that article who had very similar thoughts to the sorts of thoughts that I would have. But yeah, I mean, to me, it's not really news that this would happen.
No, I was surprised that it didn't happen already. I mean, speaking specifically of a discipline like psychology, this sort of thing has already happened, like years and years ago, in terms of when they were testing out the... You've probably heard of the experiment, actually. This guy, I can't remember his name exactly, but he sent, I think it was 8 volunteers to various psychiatric facilities. And they were told that they were to say one line only, which was they're hearing voices, and then to act completely normally. And the only thing they were allowed to do, they weren't allowed to act in any other way. And they were all admitted, and then they were basically told, and then you have to get out and convince them you're sane. And they worked out that the only way they could manage to do it was they had to pretend that they were insane. They couldn't just go to the therapist that they had been assigned and say, "Oh, we're it's all a prank, bro. Don't worry about it. We need to get out." They had to pretend that they were there and then pretend that they were getting better, and they thought that they were only being there for 3 or 4 days, and I think the longest one was in there for over 2 months. So when it came all to light that these people had managed to slip the net and that they couldn't get out, etc., it was all a big scandal. At which point the psychiatric facilities challenged the guy who ran the study and said, send us however many fakes you want, we'll call them out, and he agreed. They came back 6 months later and said they'd identified 47 fakes, at which point he revealed that in fact he'd sent no one. So
oh right, okay.
And so this was a huge scandal in terms of the credibility of diagnosing things and the literature and everything to do. This is all way back in like when everyone was Freudian and doing psychodynamic testing. So let me see. John Stewart, Rosenhan experiment. Yes, that's the one. And so the idea that someone would do a similar thing with academia, where you try and submit something and basically throw in a few lines of whatever rationale that they would usually use. But some of the stuff was ridiculous. I can't believe it got passed. And these aren't just like pay to publish journals either. These were like the big journals for those subjects.
They rewrote
Mein Kampf. Like the second half of Mein Kampf they rewrote, and it was
one of them was about
male-dominated sexist rape culture in dog parks.
Yeah.
And there was one more that was like basically advocating to put students, male white majority students, in chains, and they were to be silent during lectures, and they were to sit at the front in shame. And it was rejected by the journal, and asked to be. And the only revision that they were asked to make was to make the punishments harsher.
Mental.
To make it harsher than chains and silence. Chains and enforced silence.
Just goes to show you what's in their minds, isn't it?
It's just, you wonder how isolated you are from reality. Oh, what have you got here then, mate?
Okay, I'm on a straight draw. I've got a 5 and an ace.
Okay, we're looking for that.
So I'm looking for a 2. I might just try to bully this and go all in. And hopefully they all cuck.
I would not do that in this case. That says to me flush draw. Clubs.
I do have a club. But yeah.
Is it the ace?
It's not the ace.
Then I would. Well, you can call now. You can call now profitably. That's fine. But you're gonna get
bored. I'm bored.
You're bored. You're gonna go all in. Instant call, instant fold. Let's see.
Come on, cucks. Come on, cuck.
He's freaking out. Having to think about it, or he's trying to think about how he can get. Oh, there's one.
I'm representing the flush draw, but I'm on a straight draw.
There we go. Take it down. 2K.
See, you gotta have bollocks sometimes.
I guess. I think you could have got more value out, but there you go.
No, because I had nothing. That was like
No, I know.
Semi bluff, really. I mean,
Basically, semi-bluff. Look at you using like poker terminology.
you don't think I haven't read all the poker books? I got them all.
Well, like,
Phil Hellmuth Jr.
oh
and,
my god.
And Don, what was his name? Fold'em guy. Don.
I can't remember his name. I haven't got him.
I was well into it at one point. I used to watch Late Night Poker with, hey, I'm Jesse May. It was so much fun that was.
I used to, yeah, I watched a lot. I still watch a fair bit of poker content, to be honest. Is the Chinese economy a paper dragon or a crouching tiger? Says Crack Master General. I don't know. I don't know enough about the Chinese economy to really comment on that.
The thing is about the Chinese economy is that they can, because they've got that option of just railroading and not caring about human rights or anything. It's pretty resilient because they can just get away with things that most other people can't. Because we don't know how much hidden suffering there is, and nobody cares.
Also
like
true.
There could be, I don't know, let's say 400 million Chinese genuinely suffering right now. Does anyone know? Does anyone care? There's still a billion others living a fairly decent life, for example. In that scenario. So it's it's a strange scenario there in China.
Well, they do, like, the last thing that I remember in terms of like radical activism in China was there was some stabbings on a subway by some radical group that they then ended up hunting down, but I can't remember exactly, you know, where. But that was like 2016. I can't remember exactly anything since then. But then who knows what slips the net? Right.
So, if nobody else comes in on this, I'm going to raise to try to steal this pot. I've got nothing, but I want to flush. What, 7 and a 9 spades. Oh, wow.
All yours then. All yours. What's your opinion, AA, on destabilizing neighboring countries to peacefully take back Clay?
Clay?
I have no idea. What's AA's opinion on destabilizing neighboring countries to peacefully take back Clay?
No. I'm not for meddling in other countries.
Especially not for Clay.
I think it doesn't have a very good track record, does it?
We should never have given up Hong Kong. That's another argument. I mean, I feel for Hong Kong, but that was the terms of the trade agreement, I guess. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, but
Ooh.
Generally, the whole neocon thing didn't work, did it? We've seen in our own lifetimes it didn't work very well.
No. Let's have a look at this and see if someone wins. I don't know how much money it is now. Like £72,000. Like it's going there. It basically gets a spin on this thing called the jackpot, which they got for rolling a straight flush or a royal flush on some silly game of chance. Which is like a 1 in 11,000 or a 1 in 28,000 roll. So it'd be interesting to see. They either win like up to 4k or they win 72k. Clay is a country ball reference.
I got a king and a queen here. I'm going to raise.
Go for it. 200.
Just a cheeky little raise.
Strong.
Now, really, I don't want to see the. I don't with a hand like a king and a queen. I don't really want to see the flop. Oh fuck.
King Queen's not too bad. Oh, against Ace King though. Oh, you are screwed. Oh, good game, eh? Good game.
Absolutely killed. You see, that's the sort of hand I'll always get killed on.
Well done. There we go.
Right.
I think that'll bring it to an end. The dullest poker stream that we intended to run. Next time, I think probably plan more talking material and try and get more people in and make it a home game, and then we can bring Discord chat into like we can have a group room and everyone can talk to one another and comment on things. It could be fun. thanks for turning up, everybody. Thanks to Sitsgoen for donating, so I really appreciate it. And yeah, take care. Good night.
Cheers, mate.